Welcome everybody, Tucson Acres here. So I just got done shooting the film shutting down the boiler, and I figured it'd be a great time to go over my my annual usage this past season for firewood. Got the shed right back here behind me on your right, and it holds approximately 35 face cord. I got a 16-foot pallet over here that was stacked about 6 feet high. Probably had another 5, 6, 7 cord there. And then I had 8 pallets, just like those, stacked up Lincoln log style. And each one of those was about 0.9 face cord. So I'm calculating somewhere in the ballpark of 45-ish, give or take. I've got a little less than a face cord left in the woodshed right now. This was a fairly mild winter. I fired up the boiler on November 11th. I shut it down about a week and a half ago, middle of April. So it was almost 5 straight months exactly. I think April 9th was the exact day I shut it down the first time. Been running it for the last 5 days. I shut it down yesterday. So, you know, call it 5 months and a week or something like that. And it worked out really well. Again, a fairly mild winter. You know, temps were averaging, I don't know, 25 daytime highs and then down in the teens at night, which is pretty typical. About 3 years ago, we had almost a 2-month stretch where it was almost 0 degrees every day. Like it barely got above zero for almost 2 straight months. I'm sure I would have went through a bit more wood. I found when it's about 20 degrees and warmer, I go through quite a bit less wood. This boiler, it's a Woodmaster 6500. It's a monster, it's huge. I'm heating a 2,400 square foot barn in floor radiant heat and about 2,500 square feet of a home. So pretty close to 5,000 square feet total. So, you know, 45 cord for 5,000 square feet for 5 months. Not too bad. Just, you know, figured I'd let everybody know what kind of usage I'm getting. But one thing I think may have been a big factor was the wood that I had split up last season or last summer, almost a year ago now. I split it really small because it was really wet when I got it, and I wanted it to be dry and usable by last winter. It only had, you know, 3, 4 months, 5 months at most to dry. So I split it smaller than I would normally for a boiler. This year I've already got 35 cords sitting ready to go, probably closer to 40. But it's split a lot bigger, a lot bigger, and the bigger stuff takes longer to burn down. There's not as much surface area per, you know, chunk of wood, so it does take a little bit longer, and I think that's going to help next year, assuming temperatures stay about the same, you know, in that ballpark. I'm still going to predict 45 to 50 cord, and I want to have that much on standby. Almost there. I got, you know, probably a month worth of firewood collecting to do, and then throughout the summer I'll worry about 24-25 season. I'd like to get, you know, at least 2 years ahead at some point. You know, right now I'm struggling just to get 1 year ahead, but it takes time, you know. So earlier in the year I was kind of crankulating about 3 to 4 days per face cord, and now I'm validated. At the end of the season, 5 months, it works out. I did the math again, and it's almost exact 3 to 4 days per face cord. I would suspect most people don't go through near that much. The house, just as a, you know, FYI, the house is each room independent floor radiant heat or wall radiant heaters. It's got its own LP boiler system that I plumbed the wood boiler into using a plate exchanger. It works great. The barn, like I said earlier, in-floor radiant in the concrete, and I really like that too. I was keeping the barn at, the thermostat was set at 50. The house, the basement, I kept at about 60, 55 to 60, sometimes 65. Upstairs, the great room, I kept it at about 70 to 72, and the bedroom's at 68. So, you know, fairly typical, I'd say, something along those lines. The barn, I could probably go a little bit chillier. Honestly, it's so well insulated. I can crank it up, you know, go through an extra load of wood in 1 day to get it up to, you know, say 70 degrees in there, and then it won't use any wood. The boiler just sit here and smolder for a couple days because the barn stays warm for so long. That concrete holds the heat, and the rest of the barn is insulated. I've got probably almost 2, well, it was 2 feet of insulation in the attic blown in. Now it's probably substantially less as it's matted down over the last year and a half or so. Anyway, that's all I got for now. If you got any questions about this, please throw it in the comments. I'll be happy to field anything that I can. And you know, that's probably it for the boiler for this season. I'll be getting into my firewood videos coming up here. If you got any requests on how this is set up or stuff you'd like to see, please throw that in the comments too. I'd love to make special videos. So anyhow, I appreciate everybody watching. Closing in on 1,000 subscribers, so I'm getting really excited. And hey, thanks a lot, everybody. Take it easy. We'll catch you on the next video.